can't see without my glasses on. Look like little grapes. You can be very, very rich with the very simple things in life. Whoosh! Deliciousness. No, I don't. Spring-like fabric. Wipe the wall. Cram in the cupboard. GB came up with a genius idea. Next week things are going to look a little bit different. Sparks joy for me. Small home living. It's so nice that they sit together. I actually can't wait to clean now. Good morning, welcome back. I hope you've got yourselves your favourite drink and that you are at home and ready to settle in, because today we have a I'm very excited to say this, a very sunny first day of spring vlog.
Look at the weather, dry and bright for most this afternoon. Some showers possible for northern and western areas with highs of 10 degrees.
Morning, love. Take your tea.
Cheers.
Gonna be a good day?
Yeah.
I'm reading this book called The Happiness Year, How to Find Joy in Every Season. I'm just looking at the spring section of the book. And the first bit's just got a tiny little quote, and it says, "Feeling happy isn't always a natural response, but you can choose to be happy." And it's just made me think about it, really. Feeling happy isn't always a natural response, but you can choose to be happy. Is it basically saying, do you think, you can choose happy moments even in the darkest of times? It's a nice little book, though. Done. Officially, the first day of spring is the 20th of March, but in my little diary of months, I like to think of March, April, May as spring. You'll be seeing this video on the 1st of the month. Hope you are all good. You last saw me on Wednesday, and we have got a very spring-filled vlog today. I know lots of you are seeing signs of spring in your gardens, local towns, but I know that lots of you still have so much snow. So do let me know how you are. What's the weather doing in your corner of the world? And do you have any plans this week? As you know, I always love to hear those things. We really feel like spring is coming. I say that very, very loosely because yesterday, whilst I was having a coffee and a catch up with my very dear friend Mrs. P, suddenly out of the window was a hailstorm, and it made everywhere white. Really, really strange weather. It is like this in England. It's literally up and down. You just don't know what it's going to be like. At the moment, when I look out of the window, I do feel like we are at the very early stages of spring, but by the weekend you just don't know. It could be freezing cold again, thick frost, or we've even been known to have snow in April. It is just that changeable. You can't really plan so much to say the weather is now officially spring. Are you like this in your corner of the world? Do the seasons very much merge? Do you think that you're moving into a warmer time of year and then suddenly, no, you're not? You definitely still need your thick winter jumpers, your thick winter coats. definitely is like that in the UK. Well, the sunrise this morning looks absolutely stunning. Come with me and we will take a look at the primroses that I planted out in your last vlog. I'm going to give them a water, a little bit of a dehead, and just make sure that they are ready for this new season that is upon us. The primroses are looking absolutely beautiful. I have noticed that they've really started to bush out, and I only put them out on the balcony. When did I do that job? Monday, and today's Thursday. It's amazing, isn't it, how quickly they become settled in a pot and then start to really flourish. I think we've had some nice weather over the last couple of days as well. We've had some sunshine, also some rain, as I mentioned, some hail as well. But I think the combination of the rain and the sun has really helped those primroses just to bloom so nicely. Talking about beautiful spring bulbs, Mrs. P brought round something for me yesterday, a real treat. This is a white grape hyacinth. And you can see why it's called a grape hyacinth, because of the tops of them look like little grapes. Mrs. P and I were talking about how the white grape version is a lot rarer than the purple blue version. My mum's garden had so many of the blue version of these. It really was such a sign of spring, and she used to cut right down, because they're not very tall, the stems. She would cut them down as far as she could and then put them in these tiny little vases that we had and just popped them around the home. And when she used to do that, it was always such a reminder that spring is here. We are going to embrace a new, fresh, like renewal of time of year. I'm so grateful to have this version. Mrs. P knows me so well, and once it's finished flowering indoors, I am actually going to pop it into one of our pots that we have at the front of our entrance area. So hopefully these will come up each spring. I just love them. I love having spring bulbs inside. Got a really nice day planned today. Thinking about organisation. You'll know that I've recently sorted out the shoe cupboard. We've had that completely gutted, reshelved, and then I've bought some lovely baskets to go back inside that cupboard. Well, the one next door is what I like to call my pantry cupboard. Today I'm going to be continuing working on my sort of spring sorting, getting ready for the new season type of day. And where I want to focus my time and energy is on my pantry cupboard. So my pantry cupboard is a bit like a cleaning cupboard. Linens are in there. There's lots of cleaning products in there. There's also a home box of bits and pieces that I pull out for different times of year. So if I'm entertaining, there may be sort of different types of baskets or different types of candles, different types of lighting, my festoon lights. It's the sort of cupboard that I'm sure we are all pretty much the same. You can have organised, and then within 3 or 4 weeks, suddenly it just becomes quite chaotic again. I think if you've got someone coming round, it's the sort of cupboard that I will just put things in so that they're out of the way. It's that type of space. The cupboard itself has lots of cleaning bottles like this one with a spray top. They all sit along the back wall in there. I'll show you it all very, very soon so you can see exactly what I'm doing today. But I think where the bottles have been up on the shelf, the liquid from the cleaning products has dripped on the wall, and I've tried to remove it with, you know, one of those magic sponges, but nothing has happened. So rather than throwing out the paint that I used for the shoe storage area, I thought I would use up the leftover paint and just make really nice of that area again. And then the cupboard itself needs organising. As I said, it's just one of those cupboards that you end up throwing things in. So I need to get everything out, see what's in there. Is there anything that I'm not using? Is there anything I can donate to charity? Things that I'm finished with. Then I can put things back, all the white linens, all the cleaning products, make it look really nice again. And that will just give me a sense of sort of renewal for the new season. I really love to feel, when I say that the home is empty for the spring, I don't mean empty in a way that there's nothing in the home. But during the spring, we love the doors open, the windows open, and the outside is almost coming in. I don't want the home full of clutter and that sort of thing. So I think sorting the pantry cupboard out today will be such a good use of time. Later on, over my mid-morning coffee, I'll share with you something exciting that's coming up next week. So my sister and I are going to have a sister few days together. We've got quite a lot planned, and we thought we would bring you along with us. But that is all to come. I'll share that with you a little bit later. Well, just before we start emptying the cupboard, organising, decorating, and basically creating havoc out in the hallway, I thought I'd share with you a book that I was looking at first thing this morning. So as you know, GB and I took our first coffee back to bed. This is my second cup of coffee this morning, but I had a few moments just reading a lovely little book, and this is what it is. This book is called The Happiness Year: How to Find Joy in Every Season by Tara Ward. This is one of those books that lives on my bedside table. I pick it up and flick through it a bit like you would with a magazine. It's broken into different seasons, so it starts off with the spring and then summer obviously, and it goes through each season, but it gives such lovely ideas for you to engage with. And I also think it's not just for adults. Even though this is an adult book, the activities in here can be done with young children. And if I was still teaching in school, there's lots here that I would explore with the little ones, like the smells of being outside in the spring, you know, picking the daisies, looking at the daisies, counting the daisy petals. As I was looking through this morning, I came across a really lovely activity, a spring activity that I thought, what with it being the first spring vlog, I thought this would be a really nice one to share with you. You don't need anything other than a pen and a paper. And it's just a little bit of a mindful, relaxation, joyful activity. So I thought we would give it a go together. So this activity is called Connection, connecting with the energies of spring. Let's start straight away with a simple exercise and explore what comes up for you in relation to spring. Take a piece of paper and place it in front of you and write the word spring in large letters at the very bottom of the sheet. Then it says, now close your eyes. If you can, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now open your eyes, look down at the word spring on the piece of paper and what immediately comes to mind. So I'm going to close my eyes and do what it says and take a few deep breaths, open my eyes and look at the word. I'm going to engage in this and just write down as much as I can about the spring. You could do this any season, couldn't you? What a great activity, especially with young children. I'd love to know if any of the words have a connection with you, whether you think of any different words, whether you give the activity a go. I already feel happy that I'm just going to spend a few moments doing something like this for myself. I'm going to leave it there, although I could probably go on and on. I'm already thinking of more things, and if I had a little bit more time, I would just explore this. What a great activity, as I said, to do with little ones. This is my list of words: birdsong, daffs, primroses, bluebells, tulips, smell of cut grass, the sound of the lawnmower, beech hedge turning green, windows open, washing on the line, coffee outside, white dresses and cardigans, May Day and the Flower Queen, longer days, lambs, farm visit, bees, picnics, lemonade, peas, because we often have peas in the spring, salads, evening walks, sunset. There's so many more words I could add. One that I've just thought of now is putting on flip-flops for the first time. The amazing thing about this list is everything on here is either free or very, very inexpensive. And I've always said this: you could be very, very rich with the very simple things in life. And when you find those moments and you find those things, your whole world just opens up. I really did enjoy doing that, but it's now time to move through into the hallway and start the spring sorting chaos. Let's go. This is obviously the hallway. This is the cupboard that we're going to be working with today. This is what I like to call my pantry cupboard, cleaning cupboard, linen cupboard, that sort of thing. I'll show you in there in a minute, and you'll see that we've had it sort of renovated inside. We completely gutted it a good few years ago now and have had some shelving made. Whilst we're here though, I thought I'd share with you inside the shoe cupboard. So it's a good few weeks on now. You'll remember this being done maybe end of January, beginning of February, and it's looking really quite good. It's still organised. I'll bring you nice and close so that you can see. It's got GB's coats there, and then the cupboard itself has pretty much stayed as I had planned it to. So at the top here, I've got my going out shoes, and I've just put my pair of sort of Crocs just on there, my going to the bin sort of thing. GB has his day shoes there, and then he just puts his scarf on the top because he's been using it. My scarves and hats are all here. I'm guessing it will soon be time to swap those over, and I'm thinking about putting my basket bags in there, like straw bags. I've got my sandals and summer shoes there. GB's got a basket, and I've got my boots, and then 2 baskets at the bottom, and it has worked so well for us. There's nothing really that I've changed since I organised this. The only update will be is removing and replacing into the spring summer season. So this is the cupboard that just needs updating, cleaning, decorating, and then re-putting everything back in a more organised way. So you may think it looks quite organised, and in some ways it does, and in other ways it doesn't. If I bring you in nice and close, you'll see exactly what I mean. So this bit up here, right at the top of the cupboard, is quite organised, although I can't remember what's in that box there, so that needs looking at. This seems okay. There are a few marks and bits and pieces on the wall that do need painting. Coming down a bit further on, I need to restock. And this is where we're starting to see more marks on the walls. So there's just lots of little patches and bits and pieces that need sorting out just to make the cupboard nice again. This white linen box here, you can see things have just literally been shoved in. It all needs sorting out. Organisation again. We've got washing things that need to go on a different shelf. I've got cleaning and washing on here. But if I move these 2 bottles, you will see more marks. I've been covering up a stain with some glass jars, which is why I think they're on this shelf and not on the proper shelf that they should be on. You can see here a stain, and this is the one that I was talking to you about earlier. The linen box here does really need sorting out. I've just been pushing things in. It's almost spilling over the top there. So I'll give that a good sort out, get any sort of spring linens to the top. Right at the bottom here is where I keep home bits like candles, home decoration. You can see the Valentine's hearts there, candles, lights, that sort of thing. It really does need a good go through. I've emptied the cupboard. We are going to sand back the wall, then paint it. And GB has just said we'll go out for some lunch whilst the paint dries. So that'll be something nice to look forward to. Paint that I'm using is Dulux Jasmine White, which is the same as our hallway as well as the shoe cupboard, so just keeps it all the same. The cupboard has got 2 lots of paint on. It's coming up towards lunchtime. So GB and I are going to head out somewhere. Don't know where, don't know which town we're going to, don't know where we're going to eat, but we're going to go out whilst the paint is drying. Then I can get back in and sort everything out, ready to go back into the pantry cupboard. I feel like I've got stuff everywhere at the moment. There's paint in the kitchen that's open. Paintbrushes need to be washed up. The cupboard boxes are just sitting on the bed. I feel like I have just gone whoosh with everything that I own, and I do struggle when it's like that and not organised and put away, but I can't do anything whilst the paint is wet, so we'll head out and then we'll get back. And I have still got so much more to share with you and lots more jobs that I need to get on with today, but there is lots of lovely things coming up. So let's head out. We'll see if GB is ready. I need to get changed actually. I can't go out in this dress. This jumper dress is one of those jumper dresses that I pop on for when I'm around the home doing housework or cleaning, decorating, just a house dress. I've obviously got my apron on, so let me go and get presentable and then we will head out.
Do some people watching.
Yeah, we love a bit of people watching. Yeah, that's great, thank you.
No Carlos, normal build, please.
It is a lot later on now. It's 2:30. GB and I have just got home. The weather is still beautiful. The sun does keep going in and out of the clouds, but it is quite nippy. I thought I would be okay in my cozy cardigan, but when I was in town, I was quite cold. So it's not really warm yet, but as you can see, the sun does just keep appearing and it's lovely and warming on my face. We have had a lovely, long, leisurely lunch. We, of course, went over to Hitchin. I mean, would we have been anywhere else for our lunch? And we ended up today going to Chili Bees for a sandwich. And I had Little Venice, my sandwich was called. Don't know what GB had. He had some sort of wrap thing. But I had Little Venice, which was malted brown bread over 3 slices. I'm saying 3, it did feel this big, it wasn't, but it was probably about this size. Cheese, tomato, there was mayonnaise, avocado, deliciousness. I asked for an extra dollop of hummus on the side. I have this thing about the hummus that's in Chili Bees. I don't know why I love it so much, but I almost ate a whole pot of it today. It was on the side with my sandwich. yum. And then as we were being good and walking back to the car, suddenly we ended up in another coffee shop. We went to Fussy and Bear. That is also one of our favourites. We had a coffee in there, although I had a decaf that time. And then I had a little treat. My treat for the day, I would say, it was a peanut butter chocolate brownie slice. I've had the brownie and I'm still salivating just thinking about it. It was delicious. It really, really was. So I've actually had 4 coffees in total today, 2 this morning at home. Then I had 1 cappuccino over my lunch in Chili Bees and then a decaf. So I am coffeeed out. I am fully charged and ready to go. As you know, we've emptied the pantry cupboard. Everything is in the main bedroom and I now need to sort it out. And I am going to do this and I'm going to be quick, speedy, and I'm going to enjoy every single second. I am really looking forward to the cupboard being complete. It's one of those jobs that I've been wanting to do for a while. You know what it's like. It's on the back of your mind when you go somewhere at home and you think, oh, I just need a little bit of time to sort this out. So that is what I'm doing today. And I have to say, it does feel good, but I just would like it done. So let's go through to the main bedroom and sort the pantry bits and pieces out, but on the way we'll have a quick look and just see, is the paint drying? What is it drying like? Have I missed any huge patches? And just take a look really just to assess the cupboard situation. The cupboard is looking good. I think we're ready to put everything back now. I realised I haven't told you yet about what we actually had done in this cupboard. I'd say around a couple of years ago we decided that, I say we, it was something that I wanted to do, although once I'd explained it to GB, he said, yeah, that's such a great use of the space. This cupboard is like an L shape. So you've got this section and then it goes round here. And we actually used a Billy bookcase in this area, but it always had like a gap either side. There was a big gap on the top. It never fitted wall to wall. And I'd said to him, this space here is just a waste. What we could really do with is some shelving that goes all the way around, that goes right to the back, because it actually comes out, the cupboard actually comes out to around here. So it's quite a deep space. We asked our friend Daniel, who also did the shoe cupboard for us. He's done lots of bits and pieces for us around the home, like helped us with our bathroom, kitchen. He helps us with all sorts of jobs. He's such a great friend. And I just called him and said, I've got this idea for the cupboard. Do you think that there's any way that you could help us with it? And we decided that we would put the shelving right back into this sort of dead space, but wrap it round here to have shelving for products, cleaning products, that sort of thing, sewing materials, things that I grab quite a lot that I don't want to be rummaging around for. We've created this space now that is very rustic, it is very in keeping with home, and I actually really enjoy using this cupboard space. It's somewhere where I feel I like to go to get my apron, to get my cleaning bits, and I have that feeling of enjoyment. So what I mean by that is, you know that feeling when you treated yourself to a new gym kit and it makes you want to run for miles because you've got something new and fresh? Well, that's how I've felt about this cupboard. I've enjoyed my cleaning so much more because it's sort of aesthetically pleasing and makes me feel happy when I open the door and I can see everything laid out. We have utilised the space that we have at home. Well, I am just having a quick look over there and oh my goodness me, we've got a lot of sorting out to do. So let's head into the main room. Hopefully we can get this sorted quite quickly. And whilst I'm sorting, I will let you know just a little bit more about our plans for next week. I've got that slight feeling of overwhelm because there's quite a bit in here just to sort out. So I think it's probably best to start with the easy things. So along the shelf here, I've got my sewing things, some really special things. I love using glass jars for storage. It works really well in our home, matches our style. These are the same glass jars as the ones that I use in the kitchen drawer. So in this one, I've got my sewing things, but there's something super special in here that I would love to show you. Now, I wish I knew whether this was my mum or my nan. And it's one of those questions that I'm sure I have had answered in the past. And it's a question that I'm never going to have answered now, but I know that this is incredibly special. In my mind, I think it must have been mum. It's definitely my mum colours that she would have used. But inside, do forgive me for how disorganised this is, but these are my needles. The needles inside here belonged to my mum, but also belonged to GB's mum. And I use this all of the time. My sewing kit is incredibly important to me. It's something that I love, that I treasure, but also I need to get hold of it quite quickly, especially when I've noticed things with dresses and things like that. So I need to be able to grab it. Obviously, if there's a little repair that needs happening with a vintage dress or things like that, it's just great just to be able to pull down my sewing kit, and that's why it lives on one of the shelves. 2 more lots of threads here. We've got my autumn and winter colours in this one, and then here I've placed my spring and my summer colours. I actually thought it would be easier just to bring each box in here to look through, because my fear is that if I'm looking in the bedroom where everything is, everything's going to come out the boxes. I'm going to get very, very distracted and nothing will get sorted. But if I bring one box in here, I can get this one sorted, put it back, get the next box, get that one sorted, put it back. Sometimes my mind can be quite frantic. You may not believe that because I appear to be so slow living, and I really do love the simple things in life, but I have really had to train myself to be that way. When I am faced with something like this, I can be all over the place and not get the task done. So this is why I'm bringing in each box. First box is white linen. So I have all our linen in here. And for me, I found that in our home, it just works best just to have everything white, because then I don't have to think about what colour sheets shall we have on. I try and keep everything easy and simple. So white is the simplest colour really for me to go for. It's just easy, and I love sleeping under pure white linen. I think for me it helps me to sleep. So huge mess here. One of our lovely subscribers messaged the other day and said, Cher, do you wash your bed linen? Do you wash your bed linen? Yes, I do wash my bed linen. That's not what she said. I think she knows I wash my bed linen. She said, do you iron your bed linen? And no, I don't. I don't iron my bed linen. I did reply to say that I don't. The sheets and pillowcases are actually from H&M, and I'll show you one actually. This is the pillowcase that has been washed, and it's pure white linen. So having it creased and crumpled is just part of the look and the texture. These are absolutely gorgeous. They were 120 each, I think. I can't remember the price of them. We've got a few sets because one's in the wash, one set's on. One's in the wash, one set's on. We literally just have the same sets. Both GB and I just find sleeping on pure linen so lovely. I think it's almost got a bit of a rough, not rough texture, almost like a pure texture that you can really nestle in with. These are 100% cotton and the texture is just lovely. Can't beat it. At the bottom of my linen, I have a selection of ribbons that I used for draping white curtains and that sort of thing. These do need an iron, and I was just debating, do I want to keep them? And yes, I do. I think I do want to keep these because in the summer in this room, I often have drapes at the window if if it's a really hot day, for example, and GB and I are in here having some lunch and it is too bright, I will drape the curtains over the arch window and then tie them back with pure cotton ribbon. So I do want to keep these, but this is a little job that does need doing. And actually I won't iron these. I will just use a hair straightener, run them along, and they will be as good as new. So I've been honest and said that I don't iron my bed sheets. Do you iron yours? Are you somebody who can only sleep at night under an ironed duvet? I would love to know. I don't know what my mum would make of me not ironing my bed sheets. That was my mum's favourite job to do, was to stand and iron. That's one box done. Well, the next box doesn't need any sorting out. This is my vintage dress box, and by that I mean it's the box that I pull out when I've made an order, when I'm posting and packaging. In here actually there is a couple of dresses that are yet to go into store, and I've just popped them in this box. Do you want a sneaky peek? I'll show you the fabrics of them. This fabric, isn't it gorgeous? Very, very late spring, early summer, I would say. The second dress I'm very, very tempted to keep myself. I've not even tried it on yet, but it's the most beautiful spring-like fabric. Very classic vintage Laura Ashley in the navy blue and the deep beige. Isn't that lovely? I mean, this dress is just spring all over. I will of course share all of my new stock with you as soon as it is ready, so that you can have a sneaky peek before everybody else. That's ready, that box. It doesn't need any organising. My next box is my cleaning box, which I've actually divided into two. So if I hold it up and show you, you can see that I've got two smaller containers in there, and it just means that I've got cloths and brushes one side and then products the other side. Things like my stainless steel little balls, they're used on my cast iron pans and they work an absolute treat. No washing up liquid, because the washing up liquid will react. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's not good for cast iron. Hot water, or when the pan is warm and one of these brings up the pan's a treat. And then obviously remember just to coat the pan with a little bit of oil afterwards and it will keep them looking tip top. But yeah, those are in there. Some scouring pads. I think it is pretty organised, to be honest with you. Cleaning cloths. For me, I like to use an old tea towel. I think that works really, really well. Rather than just getting rid of them, I will use my old tea towels for cleaning and then put them on a really hot wash. And I know which ones are cleaning and which ones are for the kitchen. Here I've got my Perfecting Houseplant Care Mist. Don't know why it's in here. That should be out really, shouldn't it? I've got my wax here for the tabletops, the kitchen work size, that sort of thing. Really good just to buff and polish. What else have I got? Anything else in here to show you? That little brush needs to go over there. Everything else is pretty much my Hoover attachments. White magic sponges are absolutely brilliant. If you've got any mark on the wall, let's see if I've got one and I can show you how it works. I have. Actually, just tear a little bit off like this. We found out about this when we were away in Bath, and somebody was doing this in a shop, and I said, excuse me, what are you doing? I need to know about this. What are you doing there? Because it looks amazing. She said, oh, they're magic white sponges. They're absolutely fantastic. They're also called white erasers. And how they work is, well, I don't know how they work. I can show you how they work, but I don't know how they work. You look for a mark on a wall. This didn't work in the cupboard because those spillages were sort of oil spillages. I'm going to bring the camera up so you can see just how well a white magic sponge works. If you've not used these before, you're going to think that it's wonderful. Right, let's get you focused in so you can see what I'm doing. So the mark is in the centre, just there. Hopefully you can see that on the screen. All I have done is put some water on my magic sponge. I'm just going to wipe the wall. That will just dry as normal and you wouldn't even know that the mark was there. Oh my goodness me, this is so full. Let's empty it out. I've actually got a secret storage space that I have never ever shown you. So I've got a bit of an idea of where I can put these boucle seat pads and boucle fur throws. So let's have a look and see what's in here. Bathroom towel, I mean, just random stuff, I think. Seat pads. These are gorgeous. They're from IKEA and I absolutely love those. So I'll put those over there. Again, these white linen go at our window on a hot day. So they do need to be accessible. Let's move those. What else have I got? Another boucle fur throw. Got more linen here. These are again drapes for the living room. So put that there. Tablecloth, table runner, cushion cover, more drapes for the living room. Oh, I've been looking for these white cotton lightweight throws. I like these in the bedroom for the spring and the summer, so they can come out and go into the main bedroom. Just put in here the drapes for the living room. Then on a sunny day, I can just grab the box rather than trying to find everything. So much better. You can see on the wall that stain is completely gone now. As you'll know, over the last few weeks, I have really been focused a lot on storage and how we organise everything in our apartment. But I haven't really talked to you a lot about the living room. We do have 2 cabinets either side of the arch window, and it is something that I would like to think about replacing. The one on this right hand side doesn't really have a lot of storage. It's more of a display sort of cabinet. And the one at the back wall over there has a lot of paperwork in, GB's geeky things that he likes, IT leads and cables galore, that sort of thing. Just cram in the cupboard and then shut the doors, but he knows where everything is. But again, small home living, you need to be creative, and GB came up with a genius idea regarding our coffee table. If I lift this up, we have more storage. I'll bring you round so that you can see. Show you that again in case you are interested in how it works. So the table lid comes up, it's got hinges. We've popped this base at the bottom to create a storage area. So we've created an extra storage place that I think would be perfect for those boucle faux furs. So let's pop those in because they're quite wintry and we're moving into spring. They may be used maybe when I'm doing like table setups, like hygge table setups. So I do need to grab them, but maybe not in the cupboard. They're quite bulky and they fit really well in here. I'm going to put my little seat pads and then maybe a few extra bits and pieces as and when I sort them out can live in this wonderful storage area. Isn't it fabulous? Here we have my little home storage area of bits and pieces that I want to keep hold of, that I love, but that I don't need out all the time. I've got some LED candles here and they work so well for events if you're going out and about. So for example, over the summer there is the Priory picnic that we often go to, where you hear music, you take along a picnic, and it's nice just to have a little bit of lighting that you're not going to worry about if it knocks over, that sort of thing. It's sort of a box of all sorts really. Little glass jars, often I'll put a little tea light in there if I'm making like a tablescape sort of thing. Then I include different homeware pieces like candlestick holders, things that I don't need out all the time, but that when I'm creating a tablescape or I have friends coming over and I want to create something that is just for that evening or just for that day or for that weekend, I will come to this box and just take out a few bits and pieces, but it's sort of like my temporary box, if that makes sense. Things that I don't need all of the time. I've got festoon lights in here, so if I'm having a summer's evening and we're sort of creating an inside-outside area where the doors are open, I'll put the festoon lights across the room or across the lights there, or even in the kitchen, just to create a different type of environment. And I think that's really important. When you are living the way that we live, I love to create more with the space. I like to think about how I can utilize the rooms to make them look different and to create that inside outside feeling. And things like festoon lights and the house plants and the doors open in the summer just gives that feeling of al fresco dining. And it's one of the things that I absolutely love about that time of year, is an evening where we have candlelight, festoon lights, late spring or summer's breeze, glass of wine, maybe some cheese and some biscuits, some lovely music on, and GB and I just being in our own little space, but that I've created it just for that evening, and then the next day just goes away again and becomes our normal home living space. I think this is pretty much sorted, which is great. So lighting one side. Well, that is everything sorted. So my next job is to put everything back into the pantry cupboard, but I'm just going to stop for a moment, have a nice glass of water, and I thought I would tell you about the plans for next week, which I'm very, very excited about. Next week things are going to look a little bit different on the channel. My sister and I are going to be spending some time together, and we thought it would be nice to bring you along with us, see what we get up to. And we have booked a trip away. We're very, very excited because we love a road trip. In December, we visited the Cotswolds, and it was a very cozy Christmas. We decided that we want to go somewhere else at the beginning of spring. So next week we are off to the Peak District. Neither of us have ever been there before. My sister is driving. She's going to be taking her little dog Roo. Some of you may remember Roo from the Cotswolds video, or when we have taken care of him for a weekend. So we're going to be visiting some old English market towns, including Bakewell. Never ever been to Bakewell before, but always wanted to go. The home of the Bakewell tart. We are really looking forward to spending time together, chatting, walking, talking, experiencing new places, and just having a great road trip together. So we leave on Saturday morning really, really early. She's just phoned me actually on her way home from work, and we've just got to make our last minute arrangements of what we need to take. So we will be off on a road trip from Saturday till Wednesday. I'm a little bit unsure about my Wednesday video. You'll know that I tend to post out on a Wednesday. We will still be away, but editing, as you know, I've explained this before, takes me such a long time. So there are options. I think it just depends on what it's like when we're away. I may be able to just do a little bit of editing here and there in the evenings whilst we're chilling out, or I may decide not to edit but to vlog. It may be a one video, there may be a part 1 and a part 2. It may be that there's a video on Saturday and a video on Sunday. It may be that on the Wednesday I'm able to do a little bit of a coming up video. I just don't know quite yet. So I will let you know. I'll keep you up to date on the community area on my channel, just so that you know whether there's a video coming or not. Instagram is probably a good place to go, just to keep an eye on what we're up to and where we are. So let's go and get that cupboard finished. The sun is now right round here. It means it's evening time. The evening is upon us. one of the things that I like to do in my cupboard is when I buy products like bleach or fabric conditioner, things like that, that come in a white container, but you have the outside packaging, often of bright colours or real strong branding, I actually like to remove those. I'm going to do that at some point down the line anyway, because the outside layer can't be recycled. So they have the tear strip down the side, so you just tear it off, take the wrapper off, and then you're left with the white containers. And I feel that just the plain white containers look so much more visually appealing than the bright colours that you buy your bleach in or fabric conditioner. I don't have young children at home, so I know that this is bleach. I'm not worried that a child's going to pick it up because there's no young children here. It's just one of the little things that I like to do that may sound like I need to get a life, and in some ways I know I should probably get a life, but it's such a quick, easy, simple thing to do, and I'd be doing it anyway when I recycle, but I think it looks nicer in the cupboard like this. So that's why I do it. We all do little things to make us happy, and this is one of those little things that I do that probably doesn't make sense to so many people, but sparks joy for me. This is another life-saving tip when you're small home living. These are black metal areas that you can pop over a door or over a radiator. You just literally open them up. I love them. Just literally put them over the door. And they're great for things like t-shirts or tea towels, that sort of thing. I love that they're black, so they match the aesthetics of our home. So they're not that intrusive if I've got the washing out, because again, I've tried to keep it in with my colour scheme. But I store these in a little secret place in my pantry. So I actually go into the cupboard, and just up here above the door is some hooks, and I just hook on. I've actually got two of them. One of them's being used at the moment over a radiator, but they both live up there. Great use of storage. I've literally tried to use every single ounce of space. I've just realised that I've got two aprons here, bought for me by two of my best friends. My gardening apron bought for me by Lauren, and then my green vintage apron bought for me by Mrs. P. I hadn't noticed that before until now. That's so nice that they sit together as well. Talking about things that match the colour scheme, I've even done that with my cleaning equipment. So my feather duster, my broom, as well as my mop, everything fits the colour scheme. It has to have a purpose to be in our home. Whilst we are living here and the colour scheme is creams, beiges, neutrals, blacks, I don't need to go and buy the latest item that's in the shop or the latest mop, because it has to be here for a reason, and it has to be something that I feel matches the home. And that is one cupboard sorted out, and I am so pleased that I put some time aside today just to get this job done. I feel so much happier that things are back where they should be. I've had a little bit of an organise. I've painted the stains so that there's no stains in the cupboard. It's lovely and fresh, lovely and new, ready for the spring season ahead. I'm absolutely delighted. I actually can't wait to clean now because everything looks nice to work with. It's just gone at 5 p.m. and I noticed last night it was still light at 5:30, but by 5:45 it was definitely getting quite dark. It won't be long, and in England we'll be popping our clocks forward, spring forward, fall back. So that's how I remember it. So the clocks are going forward at the end of March. It won't be long, and spring will be fully in force. It has been an absolute pleasure spending another day with you. It really feels like I'm spending the day with friends over tea and cake, just chit-chatting about day-to-day life and the moments that spark joy. I hope that you are all well this week. Please do keep in touch. I love to hear from you. I love to hear about the simple things in life. What is the weather doing in your corner of the world? What season are you in? Are you also looking forward to spring, or are you in Australia where autumn is upon you? I would love to hear all about how you are. It's time for me to say goodbye now. Thank you for your time watching this video. Take care, and I will see you all again next week. Just keep an eye over on the community page or over on Instagram to know when your next video is, just for next week, and then we're back to normal the week after with Wednesday and Saturday uploads. Next week's a little bit different though, as I've mentioned before. Take care, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now.